Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Dan.
I'm CJ.
And this is a board game rundown. This is sort of like a fireside chat. We're going to have a discussion with CJ here, who is the miniatures rundown host.
That's correct.
And we want to have a conversation about what makes a game a miniatures game or a game with miniatures, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a general idea, because so a little bit of backstory for this. Jeff and I played a game called Godzilla Tokyo Clash on
A board game.
It had Godzilla miniatures.
Is there a board?
There's a board.
Done.
Well, okay.
Done.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
Let him
defense
intro the
Oh, yeah.
statement.
Oh, yeah,
please.
yeah, yeah.
Can
Sorry.
you finish?
Please continue.
Super kick you next chance I get. Anyway,
Just kick Dan. I feel it.
okay. Is that how that
Promise.
works?
I promise. I do.
I don't know. He's too tall. You're more in range. Anyway, so yeah, I played this game and I was just like, yeah, no, it's cool. And then Tim comes on the channel. He's just like, excuse me, that looks like a board game. To which I said nothing.
Until I started posting pictures
Until
of
he started posting
aliens,
pictures.
another glorious day in the core.
Yeah. And it was like, yeah, hey, no, I think that's a miniature game there, son.
Sure.
So now here we are.
Right. Worlds are colliding.
Yeah.
Actually, but because it's just kind of a fun excuse anyways, because since we're kind of under the same umbrella, right? We're in the same network, Game Talk Network. It's an awesome excuse to kind of just have you on and we can talk about games and work on projects together.
And I'm
So-
getting lonely all by myself on the other channel.
Yeah, Jeff's doesn't
Yeah.
count when he shows up over there.
By his own admission.
But so miniatures games, like hardcore, straight up miniatures games.
Yeah.
Warhammer, right?
Right.
big
There's
one.
no question that Warhammer 40,000 and Warhammer Age of Sigmar are miniatures games.
Unless you're playing him on a board. I'm just kidding.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So,
Yep.
well,
oh,
okay,
I
so-
felt that.
See? There you go. So that's the far end of the spectrum, right?
Right.
And
Right.
a board game is Candyland.
Sure. If he's
Yeah.
saying far end of the spectrum.
Yeah,
Far
we're
end of
going-
the spectrum.
Well, right.
Sure.
Right, but you went to like in my opinion, a really good version of a miniatures game to then a garbage version.
Board
game.
Imperium.
I got
Sure.
No
There you go.
miniatures in Dune Imperium.
There you go.
It is a board
Great game. Right.
Yeah.
So but now, right, there are fine lines that are crossed because even Games Workshop has put out board games that are set
Hi, Talisman. Yeah.
in the either Age of Sigmar or the 40K universe, right?
Right.
Like Relic
is
the 40K version of Talisman, really.
Yeah. Or even going back before that, we had Hero Quest. Is that a board game?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah, actually, I would say yes. It is a board game that uses miniatures, right?
Okay.
Like just like
So that'd be like our middle
Descent,
point, eh?
Pretty close. I would say a middle point would almost be, have you seen GKR Heavy Hitters?
Yeah.
Giant Killer Robots?
Yep.
Right? So the really tough thing is you get these amazing miniatures.
Right.
That is the draw of the game. They are pre-painted, which is great for people that with no talent like me. But the board gamey aspect of that is that you build your deck of like your loadout, but the way you do it is a deck. So it's different than like when you're using your points, assigning points to your armies.
That one's also a kind of rare thing in this genre too, because that one not only has the miniatures and everything, but that's one of the only board game miniature hybrids that also has like terrain that plays a really important
which is usually
aspect.
a board game
thing.
or a
Right.
miniatures
Miniature
game thing.
Yep. I was also thinking Hate, the board game.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Hate.
Because it's like big, cool miniatures, and it's a big blank board, and you use different types of terrain that go on there.
So where does Blood Bowl fit into that? Because that game lives and dies on its miniatures, right? But it all takes place on a pitch.
Right, but I think that Blood Bowl is a miniatures game.
Okay.
Here's my thing. I have not played Blood Bowl. How do you move in Blood Bowl?
You have a movement stat.
A
You
movement
just
stat and you move
that-
hexes then, kind of?
You move squares, but yes.
Squares.
Okay. That is rough.
Yeah.
See, because to me, a big part of miniatures games, if you're saying miniatures games, is
Free
it usually
range
has
of
this
motion.
tactical movement system built
Right.
into the game.
Yeah.
That's usually a huge part of, if you're going to say miniatures games,
Right.
right? So when you start getting rid of a movement system, that's where it becomes really foggy for me. I'm like, I don't know.
I get you. Okay.
Well,
okay,
I mean,
so
Warhammer was like, and I'm going to say Warhammer, and I'm talking about fantasy Warhammer because I played old before Age of
Right.
Six, before they reset everything.
That's when I played.
For the great end times.
Right. And it
fall of the
was like
Empire.
if your movement stat was 6, that was inches.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, sir, and that's the same thing for me. I'm saying that kind of a out of game interesting thing, whether it's simply a ruler or like X-wing has its
right.
pre-built things
Right.
and
Templates, yeah.
some kind of interesting tactical thing that is controlling your movement.
Right.
I just usually that is an interesting dividing line for me.
All right.
Sure. No, I guess I just because it's Games Workshop and because the way that you have to paint and assemble the minis, like all of those things factor in to then on the miniatures game versus a
that
board
would
game.
cancel out the X-wing then because they would come.
X-wing is straight up a miniatures
X-Wing is a
game.
miniatures
I would also
game.
Yeah, no, I
Period,
agree because like what Dan said, there's a thing for moving your people. You're not on a set board where you're moving tile to tile to tile.
And again, like any of the Warhammer games, or even no, I can't think of the other ones. But yeah, you are basically we're 100 points, right? We're putting together a 100-point army fleet.
Yeah.
And so again, that's sort of another way, right?
Right.
So I think why GKR heavy hitters straddles the line, and I still qualify it as a board game, is that because there's not really points.
Right.
You are just picking your armaments, and everybody has different unique armaments that they
Layouts and
can
whatnot.
pick.
Yeah, okay.
But you're kind of building a deck, and then you're drawing your cards,
Okay.
so you don't always have access to everything.
all of your abilities. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So, like, if you are playing Age of Sigmar and you've got like a battle wizard, whatever you call them now in that, but
A wizard's a wizard, a wizard.
you got your spells more or less, and you're like, okay, now I'm casting this, right? Where in GKR you might not be able to fire off your railgun because you don't have the card to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you're also tracking power and other stats, so then things have to refresh. You can
Got
take
it.
damage, and I don't know if there's corollaries in like 40K to that, but or
no, because it's
Robotech or BattleTech.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I just had something pop into my head, right? This might be the dumbest thought ever or the smartest thought ever. You take a board game.
It's gonna be neither.
Can I write down my guess?
You take a board game, right?
Uh-huh.
So take GKR that has these crazy miniatures in it, and take the miniatures out of the game, and you're just playing with chits or something like that, right?
Still works,
It's still a board game.
right?
Right.
If you take a miniatures game, you take out the miniatures.
Yeah.
It is no longer a miniatures game.
It is a
Just
weird game.
Disagree. And I'll tell you why. Because in high school, our buddy Pete proxied the crap. Well, I don't have the black coach, but this Coke can is relatively like the same size. So that is. He never used a Coke can.
What I'm saying though is if you
I've
replace
used Coke cans.
if you replace all the pieces, not a sponsor. If you replace all the pieces in your miniatures game with Coke cans, you're no longer playing that miniatures game.
Yeah.
You're just playing Coke can.
Now you're
war
playing
fight.
some Funko Pop hell version.
So like, I don't know. It might just be stupid, but I just had this thought in my head of it's literally as simple as just saying a miniatures game is the one that if you take out the miniatures, the game falls apart. To where if the game still functions just fine because of all the other mechanics in it.
That doesn't apply because you
could
can
use a die as to represent your miniature.
You've got the rule set's the rule set. You can
Yeah,
play
rule set is
anything
the
with
rule
the rule
Yeah,
set.
I would say once you get rid of like the free form movement, the access to all of your abilities, once you start to restrict those things, then it becomes more of a board game where you're
And I guess I would also say like if you're going to go out and buy like a faction book, right? And then build an army, I think that makes you a miniatures
Oh, definitely.
miniatures game.
But okay, so here's an interesting wrinkle. BattleTech, the new BattleTech, which is great by the way, comes with a map with hexes on it, and everything is hex based, and everything has a movement statistic, and you move X amount of spaces. Now there is a different version of BattleTech you can play called Alpha Strike that doesn't have that, but those hexes are an integral part of the game.
yeah.
Sure.
So
Board game.
I mean,
Are you high?
I don't know. To me, it's
You have
still
access to all your abilities all the time.
Yes.
miniatures game.
Interesting. But I'm saying if you get rid of both of those things, then you start to get more into the board game thing.
Got real weird. Real fast.
Yeah, because have you played Assassinorium? It's the 40K. It's like a Games Workshop 40K. The Assassins.
Yeah, the 4 assassins.
Yeah,
Doing a mission. Yeah.
right.
That's a board game.
That's
to you?
a board game, right?
Okay, because I'd call that a miniatures game.
Space Hulk.
Board game?
Well, because again, that'd be like the 50% mark for me. Like it wouldn't fall
Sure.
one way or the other.
Right.
Sure.
That's the knife edge.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I mean,
So why do we as humans feel like we have to put everything into certain categories?
Because-
we can't just
because it's fun.
Because it's fun and because it makes our brains feel
Because
happy.
most things have definitions and it makes life simple.
So I guess the maybe the difference, and I don't know because I haven't played a lot. I haven't played any miniatures game that was co-op.
Okay.
And you're assembling, so like Space Hulk and the other one that I said, Assassinorum, something or other, whatever.
Whatever fake Latin it is, yeah.
You
Thanks,
are
GW.
right. You are basically assembling the map based on like what you get out of the book, right? And then you've got the objectives, and then there's an AI that moves the guards around, blah blah blah, whatever, or the
Aliens,
Xenos, right? In Space Hulk,
Yeah.
Tyranids. So to me, those are board games because board games can be cooperative. You are because you're also not like building your character like to points, if I remember correctly, right? So like
No, you
it's
just get the dude right
right,
off the
your
box.
dude, and then their skill set, right, and like their equipment. So to me, that makes it a board game. Where if you were like, all right, guys, we are going to play this scenario using our 40K minis. And we are trying to work through this, and you've got AI rules, but you're gonna build your guy like the old Mordheim, or is it Frosthaven now, where you're gonna build Frostgrave, where you're gonna build like a little skirmish unit, right? Again, you got a point value that, and you're customizing and building. I think that's for me. I think that's where the line is. I think that's what is going to delineate because Blood Bowl. You are building your team, right?
That's
so
correct,
you're spending your points on, and so you might have a bunch of cheap guys and not spend a lot of points on them. So you could invest a lot of points into like two
good guys,
two big guys, right?
Or all your rerolls or your whatever.
Yeah. To sort of like focus on stuff. Now I see smoke coming out of this man's ears.
No.
So what do you got working on? What are you working on over there? What do you think?
No, honestly, all I've been thinking about this whole time is I really think my definition works fine.
I don't think so.
But,
I think you're wrong.
but that's fine.
Sorry, bud.
That's totally fine. I think the argument of you could replace anything with anything is just a stupid, childish argument. I hate when people use it. So I just hate that in general.
That's fair.
Like, but you could just replace the mix with cocaine. Yeah, sure. I could replace my TV with something else and just call it a TV, I guess. Like you could do that
but the
with
TV wouldn't
anything.
function the same, whereas your mini would still function like if you had the stats, you could still use it to function
Sure.
the same way.
The point of it being a miniatures game, though, with no miniatures, does not function.
No, it's just because you're poor and you can't afford to go out and buy the
because
miniatures.
you're playing Warhammer doesn't mean
Right.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that Warhammer.
Yeah.
That was a funny word. I'm
yeah,
not agreeing.
that's great.
That's
yeah.
funny.
But no, it's like Magic kind of works the same way. Like, I don't have this card yet, but rather than going out and spending a bunch of money to see if I like it, I'm going to proxy it in here to see if it works. Doesn't mean it's not a Magic card anymore. It's just a proxy to Magic card.
I mean, if you're not playing in a tournament,
right.
like Bob, no more Black Lotus decks.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh yes, my one Black Lotus and my other one.
Yeah,
and my
that's
other
a My
one.
Little Pony trading card. That you wrote Black Lotus
I just
over
think
the
it
top.
gets to the point to where you're replacing so many things that you're just not.
Well,
playing
sure,
the
then
game.
you're not playing the game. I agree.
That's all I'm saying. It changes the definition of what you're doing. You know,
Right.
I want to play Magic Gathering. I don't have any Magic cards. I'm going to replace them with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm playing
then you're
Yu-Gi-Oh.
going to play
Right, but
That's what I'm doing.
but if you say that this card is functioning like this Magic card, then you
Right.
are kind of still playing
Right.
the
I-
Magic
to use
rules.
Magic
that's the
parlance,
part
a
that I
functional reprint.
fundamentally disagree with.
You need more imagination.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That
that's
sounds like somebody with no imagination.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I can't imagine having more imagination.
Come with me, and
And
we'll
you'll
be.
But anyway, that's like a side tangent. That wasn't what I was going to say anyway. I don't know. It would be helpful if they just put the miniatures game in the title of all their games.
Right,
you know?
then there it is.
Star
Okay.
Wars X-Wing, the miniatures
So
game.
do you think that it has to be a versus type of game then to be a miniatures game because you can't play cooperatively?
I think you could totally have cooperative miniatures
I think you
games.
could. I
Yeah,
just
as long as you
can't
have an
think of
AI,
any
like
that I've ever seen.
campaign-driven stuff,
right,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hero Quest. Let's go up.
Board game.
No. Nope. I'm taking this one.
What I was actually thinking when you pointed out though was what I was thinking was where would you put Chaos Ball? That's what it's called, right?
Oh, Chaos
Because you
Ball.
are building a team with points, right? Yeah, you
No,
are.
you're not building a team with points. You are given a team, a box.
And that's your team.
That's
Oh,
your
you're
team.
right. I thought there was a point system in that.
No,
but that's how
you're
you get,
scoring points.
No, that's how you get cards or something at the beginning.
Are you talking about Blitz Bowl?
No, we're talking
it's
about
Chaos
Chaos
Ball.
Ball with a K.
You're-
It's an Eric Lang.
I thought you were like
game.
spending points to draft those up objective things or something. I'll look it up. I'm right.
Get
Do your own research.
The statements made here are not representative.
Yeah.
These are opinions.
That's right. They're all opinions.
No, I was just wondering.
Do not represent Board Game Rundown.
No, I guess again because like Hero Quest, for example, because you are not building a team, you have a character with stats, and you are upgrading that character as you play through. Because Descent, have you played Descent before? Descent is a dungeon crawl.
Wrong Descent. Never mind. Yeah, carry on.
Is a dungeon crawl board game, just like Star Wars Imperial Assault.
Got it. Okay.
They're basically the same game.
'Cause I would call Imperial Assault a miniatures game.
See, I guess that's why they have Legion.
Yeah.
But
Legion is a miniatures game.
Legion,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, Imperial Assault is definitely a board game to me.
Yes,
Weird.
me
I
too.
think
It's a
I think
modular
we
board
might
game.
have it.
But
we may have hit upon the crux of the
in
issue
Imperial
here.
Assault, you are building a team with points.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yes, you are. If you play the actual
if you
skirmish
play
thing.
skirmish mode,
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
think-
actual like.
So it's both.
Game.
So it's both.
You know?
Because if you're playing the actual game is playing through the campaigns.
I don't think that's what they had in mind when they did that. They were designing a skirmish game.
Yeah, and then they made Legion and abandoned the skirmish.
Yeah,
aspect.
they definitely
And they
abandoned
made
it.
an app,
That's
so you don't have to be a skirmish.
That's true.
Yep.
I would say it's both then,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if you've got a miniatures version
Yeah.
and the campaign mode, which
Yeah,
is
some of them do kind of cross that line to do both.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Could
what
be played
we're
either
what
way.
we're running into here is not a problem of definition. It's rather a problem of
Perspective?
basically, yeah. Like when you guys see a board game that has miniatures in it, you think board game.
Yeah.
And I see a miniatures game that has a board on it, I think miniatures.
What are the odds that it's the board game rundown?
Shocker.
It's just rundown.
Yeah, hey, look, I'm fighting a war on my
I'm
own.
just glad
I know.
it's 3-1, and we're right.
Well,
that-
Dan doesn't know where he's at.
I
It's 2-1.
I would point you to the corollary. Actually, rule number 1 of my channel: I'm always right.
Oh, see.
But what channel are we on right now?
Ooh.
Good question.
Look at the editor.
It could go on both.
No, you can't throw that to Jeff. He hates miniatures.
So there we go. Board games it is.
So I'm gonna. So this is tangentially. This is just tangential entirely. Where do you come out on D&D? Is that a tabletop game? Is that a miniatures game? Is
It's
that
a
board
role playing game.
It's a
Okay,
tabletop
so
Straight up,
completely-
it's its own genre.
Tabletop
thing.
RPG.
It's a
Except for
TTRPG.
4.0, D&D
Right,
is
which
a
more board
is is more of a miniatures
It is
game
definitely a miniatures game. Yeah.
because it's all the skirmish bit.
Right. Which
I
by the
hated.
way, the reason that a lot of people play D&D, and then everybody said, like, well, I don't like it that this is the reason that people play D&D.
Yeah.
So they changed it back for 5.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
it-
5 is like super good.
Well, that's because when they did 4
Yeah.
and nobody liked it, well, a
did.
bunch of people didn't like it. Sorry,
liked
Bob. A bunch of people went to Pathfinder,
yeah.
right?
Right.
Because Pathfinder's like, oh no, wait, we'll do it. We'll do what everybody
We
wants.
took
Yeah.
what you liked. Yeah.
Here, now have a plus 30 modifier at level 5.
I've never played Pathfinder, but
Me either.
Don't.
okay. I played the card game, I guess.
I played
I
3.5
loved
a
playing
lot.
Pathfinder,
Yeah, I
but
like
only
Pathfinder.
because you can literally be Batman.
Okay.
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 Um,
Well, but so guys, what do you think? What defines a miniatures game versus
where
a
is your line?
Yeah.
a board game?
Yeah.
And I guess one other thing I'll just throw on the pile is
Yeah.
if you can buy one box and it's got everything in it for the whole game, that might just be a board game.
So Warhammer
I guess it
40,000
also-
Commander Edition is a board game.
Yeah.
I don't know what comes in Commander Edition.
It comes with a bunch of terrain and 2 full armies and
Okay.
a rule book.
Right, but aren't there like 15 other armies you can get?
Sure, but aren't board games have 15 other expansions you can get? So Dominion's a miniatures game because there's so many.
You know what?
so many
Arctic
expansions.
Scavengers is a much better miniature.
Yo.
game.
I'm just saying.
No,
Yeah, it is a better miniatures game than Dominion.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, no, but the Commander Edition has everything
Yeah.
you need to
Everything
play
you
the
need.
game.
Yep.
Sure.
That's fair.
Yeah, it even has a board, the paper board. But
Sure,
like,
sure.
it's there.
Like, here's your
Here's your board game.
I don't think it's necessary to
Yeah,
delineate between the two. I think.
yeah.
it's fine.
I think at
What do you
this
call
point,
it? A
yeah hippie.
yeah.
Yeah, I
well,
agree.
yeah, and I will
Well,
say, like,
I
at
mean-
this point, like delineating the two is a
Potato,
lost
potato.
cause.
Oh sure.
Like, if we
One of
wanted to
those is
have
correct
this
where you're
conversation
from.
20
Where you're
years
from.
ago,
well,
it would have
right.
been a lot easier.
And that's the thing is, I think because so the miniatures gaming, I feel like has been a bigger industry earlier on, and then as board games have come on in the last 10, 15 years, like
Yeah.
I mean they've been around, but to the level where they're at now,
yeah, big time.
and they're starting to now pick and choose, right? And they're starting to absorb some other aspects of other hobbies, right?
Yeah.
Even D&D,
Oh, yeah,
and
for sure.
you know, and miniatures gaming, right? Because there's guys like me who used to play Warhammer, and now I play board games, and I get all excited when a board game has great miniatures.
Yeah.
So
And I do too, but for completely different reasons.
sure.
I'm just saying, if Star Wars Legion came pre-assembled and painted like X-Wing does,
You'd
I
have
would
everything.
own everything.
Yeah.
That's
Because
fair.
it looks so cool, but I have zero talent to glue and paint.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Let me tell you, I'm a thumb-fingered idiot, and I still play Warhammer all the time. So
Yeah, but-
don't let that stop you.
I don't know if you've met Pete or not. Pete's amazing with the painting
Oh,
and the
yeah.
gluing. And I would just feel so like subpar with my guy's
Inferior.
arms probably like doing this kind
Yeah.
of thing, and Pete's dudes all come out looking badass.
I
that one's
guarantee in the
actually-
middle of an explosion.
Well said. I will say, for somebody that's really terrible at it in general, the aliens that I painted for Another Glorious
Oh,
Day in the
sure.
Core turned out all right.
They looked really nice.
Yeah.
It turned
Did
out all
you
right.
just
It's a
put
dry
a little
brush.
gloss on them and call
Just a
it
little
good?
dry brush.
I did like a metallic blue,
Oh, yeah,
like a
yeah,
metallic
perfect.
dark blue dry brush, and they were already black, so I didn't
Well, there
prime
you
them.
go.
There you
Right.
go.
And so it's like that shiny, just enough to give them like a little shine
Yeah, they
and
look
a
much
blue
better.
tint.
They look like
If I had a
chitin,
really
yes.
good green, like that would work too.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the right kind of green for that. I don't
Well,
think.
yeah.
But,
But
okay.
yeah, no. Let me tell you, there's always a bigger fish as far as painting is concerned.
Oh, sure.
And we got a couple of real big blanking fish here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At FG at our local game store. Let me tell you,
Yeah, and then when you come out with, you're like, I made this.
I literally, I'm just like,
how
look at
quaint.
my little baby man. I put 3 colors on him, and he looked great.
And the eyes are like that, and just
Oh, it's cute. You
That's
think I
just so you
paint
can see-
eyes?
yeah, I know where they're all coming from.
Yeah. He's just
Yeah.
a Mad Eye Mooney.
But
Show me your war face.
so this is just we thought it would be kind of fun to have a
Yeah,
little
this is a little-
conversation.
Little
It's
fun.
it's really simple. A miniatures game is a miniatures game.
If it says miniatures game on the
And a
box,
board
It
game
definitely is that. Yeah.
is a board game.
Yeah.
I think that's really easy.
yeah.
Yeah. And like between the two, there's most games that
Hybrid.
come out
Most,
right now.
Yeah,
most,
exactly.
most game that has been released since 2015 is now somewhere in
Is-
between.
But you know, that's good. It's kind of just like
Yeah.
like the whole hobby thing. You think about some of the other games that we really love, right? Like
Right.
Taverns of Tiefenthal. It's a deck builder. It's a dice rolling. You
Yeah.
know, so it's
Right.
like it's so many
Right,
different
because you and I
types
come in
of
from
games.
Magic, right? And we love
Yeah.
deck building games.
Yeah, mixing things is hard, but when they do it well, it's always better.
Yep.
From my experience,
I agree.
And,
agree.
and luckily, tabletop games in general respond very well to having miniatures, so you can mix that in pretty seamlessly.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
just like,
Yeah.
oh hey, yeah, use your imagination. Oh, sorry, it's 2021. Here's a miniature to go with it. Like,
Right.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Does the job. Great.
Right.
So.
Or you just get that old Coke can out. put that back out,
Hey.
and
Well, you know,
there go.
look at Monumental, right? Because you can buy the collector's edition and it comes with all the minis, or you buy the regular edition and you just get a punch out.
Oh,
But
sure.
it's the same game. You're just using different things to represent what you have on the board.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
So by removing the minis, the game doesn't change.
Yeah.
It's a board game.
Yep.
I'm glad we proved that.
Oh, geez.
You can't just say
I
you.
guarantee,
just say
I could print off a Warhammer 40K army of 1,000 points and play against CJ's real
Yeah.
40K army.
So then you're playing a print and play.
Oh God.
It's a print and play mini game.
Yeah.
Sure, I could just say that about anything.
Yeah, if you have a 3D printer, yes, it is a print and play game.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
Could be. Could be.
He says having an entire 3D printed army.
So we're gonna just stop Dan from continuing to derail us.
Yeah.
Yep.
But thank you guys for watching. Please let us know in the comments what you think.
Yeah.
Also, be sure to visit Miniatures Rundown.
Yeah.
Game Talk Network. CJ's there. He's pretty cool.
I
and
try.
we're going to pop up on there every once in a while just to try to like paint things badly or, gawk at some of the fun stuff he gets to do.
Yeah, and we'll drag these suckers into playing some games, teach them what a real game looks like.
Woo!
Wow, I love X-Wing.
I do love X-Wing.
It's really
I love the minis in X-Wing.
You would love X-Wing.
I probably
Yeah.
would.
You would love X-Wing.
I haven't played X-Wing since the
Yeah.
edition changed, but that's great because apparently that's all.
That's all we're playing right now.
Yeah, I tried Armada and I had a hard time with it.
You ain't
I haven't
alone.
played Armada,
Yeah.
but X-Wing's good.
Yeah, we're talking too much. So anyway,
Okay.
go check out my stuff. Go watch the rest of their stuff.
Yeah.
Send me miniatures. Send them board games.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Sounds good.
That's
Hey,
a
there
thing
you
we
go.
need to add on
Start
there.
adding that to our closure thing.
Please give
some more.
Yeah. I'm tired of spending all my paycheck here anyway.
Right? No doubt.
We'll work
no
for games.
doubt. So for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I've been right.
And for the miniatures rundown, I've been CJ.
See you next time.